Hello, my name is Naomi Donatus. I am founder of Bluxies Incorporated, and today I'll be interviewing Mr. Adedayo Mahmood, the director of the technical department here at the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Naomi. It's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us, sir. So the first question I have for you, sir, is can you provide an overview of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation's mission and objectives?
Well, the Nigerian Conservation Foundation was established in 1980 and registered as a charitable trust in 1982 with a vision of a Nigeria where people prosper while they live in harmony with nature.
Okay.
The mission statements are three. One is to conserve the full range of Nigeria's biodiversity in terms of genetic diversity, ecosystem stroke habitat diversity, and equally species diversity. The second mission statement has to do with us promoting all actions geared towards enhancing sustainable utilization of our natural resources for the benefit of present and future generations of Nigerians. And lastly, we undertake field actions that help to promote best practices in climate change mitigation and adaptation in Nigeria. Equally, our field action and interventions are targeted at encouraging sustainable waste management, and equally, our field interventions are aimed at promoting reduction of pollution from all sources, and lastly, to encourage renewable, sustainable utilization of renewable natural resources in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful response. Next question I have for you is, what specific conservation goals does the NCF aim to achieve in Nigeria?
Thank you so much. The specific conservation goals that we have are as encapsulated in the first strategic action pillar of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. The first one seeks to promote programs, activities, interventions that are aimed towards enhancing habitats or ecosystems. And we have a focal program that we used to actualize this, which was christened Green Recovery Nigeria. It's an initiative that is aimed at promoting country-led regeneration efforts across the length and breadth of Nigeria. We want to see how we can consciously, with our partners, with nature enthusiasts, to increase Nigeria's forest cover to at least 25% in the next 30 years. The Green Recovery Nigeria initiative is our flagship nature-based, country-led efforts at enhancing habitat restoration in Nigeria to consciously, in partnership, collaboration with our partners, with our members, and with other nature enthusiasts to return Nigeria's forest cover to at least 25% as admonished by the FAO, and equally to at least 33% as admonished by the United Nations Environment Programme. At independence, Nigeria's forest cover was a little above 40%, but sadly today, it hovers between 3 to 4%, and we cannot continue on this trend. So that is why we came up with an initiative to bring everybody, those activities we can do on our own, those that we can support, encourage others to do. We want to harvest greening efforts across Nigeria through promotion of afforestation, reforestation, and habitat restoration programs. It can be through assisted natural regeneration or farmer-managed natural regenerations across the length and breadth of Nigeria. That is one pillar. The second pillar is targeted at enhancing long-term conservation of species in peril. We have unique resources in Nigeria, both fauna and the floral resources. And you attest to the fact that Nigeria's unique drainage and vegetation pattern, from mangrove to rainforest to savanna ecosystems, afford us the unique collection of unique biodiversity in different forms, some of which can only be found in Nigeria. And on account of species richness, Nigeria will occupy strategic locations on the Guinea-Congolia forest biome that converts us high species diversity and richness in Nigeria. Some of them are critically endangered and they hold clues to our past. They enable us to understand our present and equally can assist us in planning well into the future. The third strategic action program of Nigerian Conservation Foundation is targeted at promoting climate action. You agree with me that three most prominent crises ravaging humans and the planet are loss of biodiversity, the climate crisis, and pollution, particularly those that are induced or due to plastic pollution. We have dedicated a program to harvest our collective actions, and through this, we have established a coalition of civil society organizations and partners to amplify, to strengthen voices for climate justice in Nigeria. We undertake field actions as well to help in mitigation projects as well as adaptation projects. And we are equally engaging our partners to mobilize funds for climate action. And lastly, the pillar targeted at enhancing our partnerships and expanding the constituencies of our work. We believe we cannot do it alone. We need collaborations, strategic partnership, alliances with our partners, with our supporters, with our members, with champions of the environment, with people that steward for environmental sustainability, and with nature enthusiasts to come together to see how we can collectively promote nature conservation work, enhance our future survival, and promote a better and a better, safer environment for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Said quite a handful there, and I am learning a lot. Thank you so much. So the third question is, what are the most pressing environmental issues in Nigeria, and how does the NCF address them?
Like I told you, what is happening in Nigeria is equally happening across the globe. Deforestation is number one. The rate at which we lose our forestation in Nigeria is alarming. And Nigeria currently ranks second on the list, on the global list of countries with highest rate of deforestation. We come behind Indonesia. And the rate at which we lose our forest landscapes, apart from being alarming, they are unsustainable. The fourth strategic action pillar of Nigerian Conservation Foundation is targeted at partnerships and enhancing or expanding our constituencies for our work. What we believe by this is that we cannot do it alone. We need to form strategic alliances, partnerships, collaborations, and bring as many people as possible on board so that we can together reach out to a greater audience and promote nature conservation work much better. Through partnership development, we want to believe that when we reach out to governments and other key institutions, particularly the people that live in forest edge communities, there are some people that live in close proximities to where these natural resources are in abundance. We need to form a strategic partnership with them. One, with a view to enhancing their understanding of the environmental issues, with a view to bringing to the fore, to their knowledge, the importance of conserving those natural resources. What benefits do the conservation of these bring to them? And what are the likely roles they are expected to play? And for us to have a future that we shall all be proud of, particularly enhancing better living standards and safeguarding the potential consequences, drastic consequences of our unsustainable utilization and unsustainable lifestyle, then we need to bring as many people together to enhance their understanding, to increase their knowledge, and promote better awareness about and the perceptions about our natural resources, wherever they are.
All right. Thank you so much for that response, sir. I'm learning quite a lot. So the next question I have for you is, what are the biggest challenges the NCF faces in promoting conservation efforts in Nigeria?
Well, we want to appreciate the efforts of our supporters, partners, members, and nature enthusiasts who have freely donated. We have those that have given us yearly subventions, and we have those that normally come around to support our programs and activities. But then, funding remains the greatest challenge. We want to do so much, but then we are limited by the little funding capacities we have. And the popular slogan in conservation balance is conservation without money is mere conversation. So we need a lot of money to get the message out there. Is it advocacy we talk about? With enhanced funding, we can do much better. We can reach to larger audiences, and we can promote more online field intervention programs. In terms of advocacy and increasing awareness, we can do much better with increased funding. We want to collaborate more, want to partner more with a lot of people. We need money to bring them together. Also, our field intervention programs, we need more committed funds, and also making more impacts in terms of legal policy and institutional strengthening of key government institutions. We need more funding. And equally, Lekki Conservation Center is an investment of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. We need more of this across the country to act as a resource base, to act as a platform for integrating local people in natural resource conservation, and as a model for promotion of environmental consciousness and awareness, and to build more stewards for environment. We need more funding. For each and many of our activities, we need more funding. And through that, we can solve a lot of issues that confront us today that threaten our collective survival as a people and as a country.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. So the next question is, what tangible impacts has the NCF achieved in terms of biodiversity conservation, habitat restoration, and sustainable development in Nigeria?
Thank you so much. Like I told you, we're over 40 years old as NCF. We have made tremendous impacts in terms of advancing the cause of nature and environmental resource management in Nigeria. First is the issue of getting the right policies. We were instrumental. We drafted the first Nigerian Species Endangered Act in 1985. What we had as Federal Environmental Protection Agency was courtesy of our intervention. And today, what we have as Federal Ministry of Environment was our contribution to enhancing natural resource and environmental management in Nigeria. We advised the then government in 1999 on the need for Nigeria to have Federal Ministry of Environment. In terms of policy and advocacy, in terms of public engagement, in terms of strategic partnership development, and in terms of developing right policies to address global, regional, national, and local conservation needs, we are at the forefront. And the establishment of Nigerian National Park today was a product of the contributions of Nigerian Conservation and Nigerian Conservation Foundation. And we are proud to have written about 3 to 4 management plans for the existing 17 national parks that we have in Nigeria. And equally, we are at the forefront of promoting environmental education and sustainable natural resource management awareness in Nigeria. Not only that, we have initiated alone on our own, we have initiated in partnership and collaborations with local people, and we have initiated with our partners a good number of conservation intervention initiatives that have helped to still keep some of the remaining unique natural biodiversity that we have in Nigeria as we speak. We continue to make informed decisions and contributions into research. And Nigeria's participation at the World Global Fora, particularly conventions. We are part of the team that drafted the nationally determined contributions for in our is a framework that houses Nigeria's strategic approach to combating climate action in Nigeria. We wrote the first Nigerian National Biodiversity Strategic Action Plan, and we are part of the people that put together Nigeria Forest Policy that was launched in April 2023 last year, Nigeria Forest Policy 2020. So in terms of research, in terms of knowledge, in terms of institutional strengthening, policy, legal framework development in Nigeria, NCF has been at the forefront of all this as the premier and foremost and leading institutional symbol of nature conservation practice in Nigeria and beyond.
Right. So the next question I have for you is, how does the NCF measure the success of its conservation efforts?
Uh, we have a very vibrant and functional monitoring and evaluation that we have designed to be project and site specific. That is number one. Okay. That is getting data that we can quantify. Then in terms of our social media presence and relationship, we have a lot of likes, people that follow our programs. We harvest all this as well on a weekly and monthly basis, and we do strategic comparative analysis to look at how well are people receiving our programs, how well do they follow what we do, and through our strategic engagement that I spoke about the other time, we have a functional schools environmental education program, which is targeted at harvesting, cornering the youths, developing them, nurturing them into ambassadors for the environmental cause. So we do this through schools program. We go around, not only in Lagos, but across our project locations and zonal offices to establish schools conservation club. At our project site, we have community conservation club activities as well. And we now have a program now targeted and in collaboration with civil society groups at our project locations, which is talking about bringing together under the Coalition for Environment. We are doing this so that we can have more comforts into environmental cause. So through the regular feedbacks we get, through looking at our social media engagement, then through our direct interventions and through the programs that we initiate in collaboration with relevant government ministries, departments, and agencies, the public sector, and equally the community and local peoples. And local people, we get all these feedbacks, and we are in constant touch across the length and breadth to feel the impact through our monitoring and evaluation unit that we go out. Each project, each intervention must already has a monitoring and evaluation component built into it. And we have the indicators that we measure. How many people are we reaching? What impacts are our interventions creating? So we harvest all this and we quantify them for our reports to share with our members, to share with our donors, to share with our partners.
Thank you so much, sir. That helps to put a lot of things in perspective because I've been wondering, and so I'm glad I finally have the answer to that question. So the next question I have for you is, could you highlight some of the key conservation projects and initiatives that the NCF is currently involved in?
Thank you so much. Where you are today, where you are being hosted, the Lekki Conservation Center is a signature flagship project of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. When we were established in 1980 and got registered in 1982, the level of awareness was very, very low. And we needed to tell people the best way to go about it. So the establishment of Nigeria Lekki Conservation Center in 1990 was to serve that purpose, to demonstrate the practical approach to nature conservation practice. And when we speak about habitat restoration today, we can tell you that the Lekki Nature Reserve at the Lekki Conservation Center is a classical example of habitat regeneration at work. One very unique feature or quality about forest is that as a renewable resource is that it is capable of regenerating itself. It's capable of replenishing itself if left undisturbed. Places where you are backing were practically grassland. You can see through up to 150 meters in 1990 up until 1999-2000. Now we have left it. One of the key features of conservation practice is protection. When you leave an area undisturbed, it will gradually come back. And now if you want to describe the vegetation at the back of you, now we will say is a maturing maturing because it's still growing, secondary forest. Only across our swamp area there you still have the relics of what it used to be before we came in 1989 and before we opened the center to use in 1990, to public use in 1990. This is one. We have all these dotted across critical environments, critical ecosystems in Nigeria. We have a presence in Bichefi Nature Reserve on the Obudu Plateau Cross River National Park. We have a presence in Finima Nature Park on Boine Island, River State. We have a presence in Adejia Unguru wetlands. Since 1991-92, we have established Adejia Unguru Wetlands Conservation Project there. It's still up and running. We have projects in Noma, Forest Conservation Project in Noma, Olua and Shasha. Omo is in Ogun State. Olua is in Ondo State, while Shasha is in Osun State. It's a mega project in the southwest. And we collaborate. Apart from running a project, establishing it on our own, we co-partner. We collaborate with our partners, particularly in National Park Service, with State's Ministry of Environment or State's Ministry of Forestry to protect their forest estates across the states. And we partner with communities. We have community forests that we come together to jointly manage for their use, for posterity, for future uses. So these are some of the signature projects that we have established to showcase the ideals of nature conservation, and also through our vibrant environmental education program is a project on its own. We have the yearly national arts and essay competitions among the 3 categories of school pupils: 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 11 to 13, and 13 to 15. This is targeted yearly at promoting environmental consciousness. And we have summer programs as well. It's a project on its own. To actually enhance the school pupils when they are on holiday, engage them on environmental practice. Equally, we have national yearly advocacy program, like the one we normally partner with Lagos State Ministry of Environment to commemorate World Environment Day and the annual Walk for Nature. We commemorate important environment days in the country to raise the level of awareness as an advocacy tool. For example, World Wetlands Day. Lagos is a coastal city. Yes. The state of aquatic splendor. People need to know the way they relate with their resources so that we don't lose them all. And that is why Lekki Conservation Center was established to protect, to still preserve the representative samples of our unique plant and animal resources on the Lekki Peninsula. That is that. And World Wetlands Day, World Migratory Bird Day, World Wildlife Day, World Habitat Day, World Water Day. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that people can be conscious of happenings around them. We bring into attention, into perspectives, into people's reckoning what the global concerns are being. Should we continue on that trajectory? Do we need to change our orientation? Or what are we doing right that align with global best practices? And what are we not doing right that we need to place Nigeria on the world global map as a compliant nation so that we don't lose our future because of our present attitudinal deficiencies.
Wow.
So these are some of the programs that we do.
I've been schooled properly today because I did not know about so many of these things, and I am so glad I am getting to get this knowledge, and we are getting to impact it to other people as well. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So the next question is, how do you select and prioritize which conservation projects to undertake?
Yeah, I told you about that. There are critical environments. We have what I can say, a checklist of Nigeria's plant and animal resources. We have a checklist of the critical ecosystems that require intervention in Nigeria. So we reach out to our donors, we reach out to our partners, we reach out to our members on the need for prioritizing of such either plants, either animal, or ecosystem or habitat of great conservation importance, not only to Nigeria, but to the global world. So based on that, there are some based on requests to respond to emergency needs. Like everybody is talking about mining now. is now rampant.
Yes.
We have a ministry that regulates this, but the level of compliance to achieve this has been very low. So we call me based on request. We call me based on the need to respond to the needs of the time, and also based on our rich scientific data that we have established, that we continue to improve upon, update, to decide where we need to go, to decide who we need to relate with, and to define the specific conservation, intervention, and outcomes that we want to prioritize. I
Thank you,
hope I
sir.
answered that.
Yes, absolutely, sir. You shared so much light. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, so the next question is, what role can individuals and communities play in supporting the NCF's vision and actively participating in conservation efforts?
Thank you so much. I will begin with what an individual can do. Like
Okay.
you are helping amplify voices for nature conservation and environmental resource management in a sustainable manner in Nigeria. We need you as a partner. As individuals, you can join NCF as a member. There are different categories that you can come in to play your role. Two, you can adopt a unique environment or habitat like Chevron Nigeria Limited has been doing since 1990 to manage the Lekki Conservation Center. You too can do that. Other corporate bodies can do that. Communities can come together to do that. You can adopt an animal. For example, First Bank uses African forest elephant as their logo. The same thing Portland cement. And you know, where you see an elephant, it represents what? Boldness, strength, and charisma. So they use that to promote that. First Bank can decide to say that, do we still have elephants in Nigeria? We will say yes. Where can we still find them? We list locations where such can be found. And they can adopt that, put out money, like we have had Forest Elephant Alive Fund. They can donate money into this so that elephants in Nigeria cannot go into extinct. We don't allow that to go into extinct. Our younger generations, our children, can have a place to say, please take us to where we can set an animal, an elephant. The same thing, lion. These are things when people can adopt an animal or a plant, like national plants now, Costus spectabilis, that is on our national coat of arms. How many people recognize that? Where does it grow? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So we need to inculcate all this when we encourage ambassadors for the environment to either support conservation cause, own, adopt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And equally lend their voices. We need their support and cooperation. We can't do it alone. The level of awareness is very low there. They can be part of the global. We have partnered with some of the corporate bodies before to have a national symposium on topical environment issue. We are talking about plastic pollutions now. We don't want to take people out of their own business. How best can they do it that will be more environmentally friendlier? And that's why we are promoting that. One, you must reduce single-use plastic. You must recycle. You must reuse. That's why it's not single-use again. Keep your bottle, water bottle. You buy that, you finish that, take the bottle to the next water collection point. Don't throw into the environment. And also the last one is remove from the environment. We know the menace that plastics can cause in the environment. They are not easily biodegradable. Many of them stay in the environment more than 30 years, and they end up in our oceans and streams, causing havocs. We know our wetlands, the fallows are there. They occupy around 6% of the total world space. And yet they support more than 40% of species. They take up more blue carbon than what our tropical forest can do, in the range of 4 to 6 times that a forest can take up excess carbon from the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So you know how important they are. So in the fight, in the crusade, in the advocacies, to let people know the menace of environmental all sustainable practices in the environment, then we need more people to join us to be part of the crusade. We can't do it alone. We are reaching out.
Yes.
They can form their own pressure groups. You must find something to do. There is always a space to accommodate them in the field of the environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very enlightening. So lastly, last question I have for you is, in light of this year's theme, focusing on planet versus plastic, are there any measures in place to address potential resistance from major corporations that are heavily involved in the production or usage of plastic?
Yes, there are. First is to have the policy drive, which the country is trying to align to the global best practice. As we speak now in Ottawa, INC, the fourth session of INC is happening now to address the global plastic pollution. And Nigeria has already started. We have a desk dedicated to this. And there is a national coalition, national plastic action partnership that is already bringing major players in the field of manufacturing, people that market, people that use, end users, that has anything to do with plastic chain. They are now coming together. They are now looking at how to do their businesses, their production. What do they use? How can they reduce? How can they promote single-use practice and plastics? Then, is there a roadmap to phase it out? And by what time? So everybody is trying to come together. So there are frameworks now. There are advocacy currently going on. The policies are currently being reformed, enhanced to be in tune with global best practices. The session in Ottawa opened on 23rd of April, and it's to end. It ended yesterday with the global voice condemning increasing the volume of plastics in the environment. You too can join the advocacy. You can join the drive to educate our people the more on the dangers posed by plastic, because it stays so long in the environment. They are not biodegradable. On their own, they cannot decompose.
Thank you so much.
Unless assisted. So we need each and every one of us in advocacy, awareness creation, public engagement, projects that are targeted at mopping up excess plastics from the environment, and equally through our school's environmental education program. We are now donating waste collection base targeted at plastics. They do waste sorting, and to encourage them, we call it waste to wealth. You collect all this, you weigh it. We have the collectors to come and collect, and they weigh. Once they weigh per kilogram, it attracts a cost, and they give you money. So people are now encouraged to look around to say, yes, I need more money. As individuals,
Yes.
you have the scavengers all around mopping up the environment. We need to encourage them. What do? The middlemen, we need to empower them to be able to act on the need for us to reduce, on the need for us to promote reuse, on the need for us to enhance recycling. And lastly, what do we do with them? On the need to remove gradually, so that we can rid the environment of the excess volumes of the plastics that litter everywhere. And then let us learn on the need to promote environmental sustainability in all that we do. That is the message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I have learned a lot. This has been very insightful, very knowledgeable, and I'm sure people that will be watching this interview will be sure to get a lot from this interview as well. Thank you so much for
It's
your
my
time.
pleasure
Sir.
to contribute and lend my voice to the growing call on the need to educate our people more, on the need to care more for the environment, because we all belong to the environment. We don't own it. If a single strand of the elements that make up the environment is removed, you cause biological disequilibrium. And we don't want that to happen.
Yes.
We want to have a better place to live. We want to have an enhanced living standard, and to have a guarantee that we have a place to call our home tomorrow. That is the planet Earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.